Okay guys, this video is gonna be on the tool height tether, and there's a few things I want you to pay really good attention on what I'm gonna tell you now, and it's back there and here. So first, just forgetting about our tool setter. We're just gonna get like on any other machine, and we're gonna get us a tool and set a tool length inside Mach 3. Alright? So just like any other, you will lower your spindle. I already did it, but I'm gonna kind of walk you through it. So you're gonna get your spindle height, right? So you'll put this under your spindle. You will get that height from there. You'll zero your DRO on Z-axis. Then leaving that over there, just like this. You put this under the spindle until you're touching on the bottom of the spindle, wherever you want to, but most likely close to your taper or right at your spindle. Lower it down until you're touching on it. Once you're touching on it, you zero your Z-axis DRO. Then you bring that out. Put one tool in, whichever tool you like. Pointing one, better, easier. Put that tool in carefully. Lower your spindle. Get that tool height, whatever it is, from here to where you have the spindle at, that you have on your DRO, on your Z-axis DRO. That's your tool length. You get that tool length and you set it on your tool table, like that. So I know that tool is 4.7290. That's my tool length on tool number 1. You can do it with any tool you like. It's not a big deal. So once we have that, then we move to our tool setter. Alright? So we know, supposedly, if everything is good on the machine, like all the step in per turns and all that, per inches or whatever on the machine, all set up. Let's say the machine is perfect. This is assuming the machine is perfect. We already got the tool length, so we're gonna use that tool to set the tool height on the tool setter. We need to go by something, and our something is gonna be this tool, which we already set, by hand, pretty much. So I know the tool length on that, and we got our tool setter over there. I already wired my tool setter. I'm gonna show you how I wired it. It's already hot wired to my probe and to my e-stop. So I want you to look here where it says probe active. I'm gonna barely touch it, and you're gonna see that light blinks over there, right? So that will be the tool touching on it, right? If I go farther down, it'll stop the machine. I hope you see it down here. It went to stop. I did it on purpose so you see it. So all that mechanical part, electrical mechanical part, is working good. I want to show you back here, and this is really critical on my experience because I already broke one. Hope we get some of this. Maybe too much light. Okay. So on the C76 and most of the UC300 control boards, on port 2, input 2, 3, 4, and 5 are high speed inputs. meaning you can read encoders. I mean, really high, high speed. They're not, kind of slow speed like a regular input for Mac 3. Them four inputs, uh, they're really high speed. So if you want to, if you want your tool setter to work good and your probe to work good, you have to be wired to one of those inputs. Port 2, remember, port 2 input 2, 3, and 4. No, yeah, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on port 2. On the C76, it's like that. Maybe some of the other, CNC for PC control boards are, different ports or pins or whatever. I know it's that one on this one, and it always works good. So your probe and your tool height setter, they have to be set to either one of those inputs, so you get really quick response back to Mac 3. You want it to work as quick as it can, so you don't have to adjust really high on your tool height and all that, because there's way to adjust that. But if you don't have to, if you want to be really close to the reality, you have to use a really high speed input, and that's one of those 2, 4. I mean 2, 3, 4, and 5. In this case, I'm using number 5 right here. I have it wired to a relay. The reason for that is because my probe is gonna be by default. My probe is gonna be by default, and then my tool setter is gonna turn this output on before it goes to that position. So right now I got a hot wire, pretty much is on normally close. So we are feeding, if you see out here, this light that you see here, that's my probe. If I go click over there on the probe, that light is gonna go off. So right now we got signal from the tool setter coming here. So not the probe, the setter, from the tool setter coming here, and that's what we see it over there on the front. So anyway, I have wired that. Oh, I missed something. My emergency, I mean my over travel on the tool height setter is straight to my E-stop wire, connection here. So let me pull it up. You're probably gonna see a red light here. Let's see, hopefully. Yeah, see that light on the top? Not the bottom one, the top one. That's because we on emergency right now. Something is missing. See how it went off? Okay, hope you see it. Anyway, so we got our tool height. I mean, we got the tool we're gonna use to set our setter, our tool setter, and we got the wiring done. We got over travel, and we got signal to the probe. So now we have to we'll move C-axis up. We get close to our probe. Slow down. Okay, what I'm trying to do here now is I want to make sure that Mac 3 is always going to be on that position. So right now my work coordinate is 250, so it's G59 P250. But I know I've set my setter on 16 inches on Y and half an inch on the X. So I'm gonna get as close as I can to that on the Y. That's 18 thousandths. So I want to be really picky on that. See, you see I got 0 over there. So that's on Y. And I'm gonna go to X. Yes, I'm not gonna go. Oh, I gotta go like. I'm sorry, it's taking me a little bit. I want you to, take your time to see what I'm doing here. Anyway, we're close. So, working coordinates. So right now we are 24 minus 24 inches on C-axis on work offset 250, right? But we know we got that tool on, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start lowering. I'm gonna come out of. Move my C-axis lower than that. That's very close. Okay. And I want you to see here on my probe, right there, she's already on because we barely touch it with that drill bit. So I'm gonna put it on steps, 1,000 at a time, until this LED goes off. See that LED went off? I'm gonna do one click down here. Let me see. On, off, on, off. That's my C-axis going up and down 1,000. So if I go down, I'm touching on my tool, my setter. So that should be my tool height for my setter. So what I do over there is, since my LED is on, I hope you understand all this. I got my tool touching on my setter, and I already know my tool height. So Mach 3 thinks this is our 0, or it actually is. It's our 0 on the tip of that drill bit, right? So what we're doing is we're using that 0 to 0 the tool setter, right? And what we do is we push on the tool setter until our LED goes on. If I go up, it goes off, go down, goes on, right? So now that it's on, the only thing I got to do, I got to 0 my C-axis. So if I 0 on working coordinate 250, the reason, I got a video on this already anyway, but you can look at it. I 0 my C-axis. So now, anytime I come to that position, my tools, my C-axis height is gonna be 0, which with any other tool. So let's say if I pop this tool, you see right now with that tool is 0, right? So if I pop that tool on, I mean off, and I take this tool off and get a longer tool, which has never been in this Mach 3. This is a tool out of the chart, so nothing related this tool. Okay, and I lower my C-axis with that tool over there. I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna go down until my LED goes on. 1,000. 1,000 at a time. See, it went on. So that tool that I just put on is 2.467 inches longer than the tool we had in it. Hopefully that makes sense. So with zero, our work offset with this tool, which was shorter, and then when we put this tool on and we try to zero it over there, we know, I mean, Mach 3 already knows that that tool is longer, and we offset Z-axis by 2.467 inches. So what the macro does right there is it will take the amount that we had on this tool and it will add it to that one, and that way we know the full length of that tool. Hopefully that makes sense for you. So now still thinks that we got that tool on, but let's just say instead of being tool number 1, because now Mach 3 thinks we got tool number 1 on, I'm gonna put in here 2. You see that I got a 7 point right there. 7.196. Oh, don't do that. 7.196. So the tool length of that tool right there is 7.196 inches. There's 7.196 inches from the top of the spindle, or from the bottom of the spindle to the tip of that tool right there. Alright, so we already zero our tool setter. Anytime we send a tool to that position, it's gonna get that amount, and that amount is gonna be stored in here. So it will be like me right now doing tool number 2. I mean, this is done automatically once we send it over there, but that tool is 7.196 over there, right? Enter. If I get here and there and I go apply, okay, you see now it's 0, and this is the amount of the tool. So Mach 3 already knows that tool number 2, tool number 2 is 7.1960 inches, so it's 0 on top of that tool setter. Okay, hopefully you understand this. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make sure, this is the part that I don't like because it's more scary. I haven't tried the macro itself, right? So I'm going to I know it should work. What the macro is going to do, them covers are tight. They're going to need they need chips and coolant. That's what they need. Okay, so the macro here, I'm going to go to G54. And I gotta look at my macro. What I did, I copied what I had on the Cincinnati and put it inside that bottom right there. So script. The script. Okay. So this part of the script is not going to work right now. Let me. This it's going to take a little bit, guys, but hopefully you see what I'm doing. Yeah, there's a part in the script that there's a sensor that I use on the Cincinnati that is, if it's not that high, it's not gonna do the. So I'm gonna take all this from here. I'm gonna make sure it runs. It runs. I'm gonna save it. Recheck this. So theoretically, uh, if I'm not in working coordinates, it's gonna send me out of the program. That's the first part. Then I'm gonna activate output number 7, which I gotta go back there and change my pinout on my relay. So when that relay comes on, it will switch the the connection from one side to the other. And then if that relay does work, I'm gonna wait a second. Hopefully you're seeing all this. Wait. So start line values. Try to go this way. Anyway, so I'm gonna activate signal output 7, which is that relay over there. It's gonna switch position, and when it switch position, my LED here, this LED here, is gonna go off. If that LED does not go off after a second, it's gonna send me off the program. It's gonna take me out of there. So and then if it does go off, everything is gonna go good. It's gonna move my table on G00, G90, G53, Y16, X500. On working coordinate, G59, P250, the one we already zeroed. That's what I was zeroing on working coordinate 250, because I knew I wanted to use 250. I got a video on this. You can watch it. The first time I set my tool setter, I set it on G59. And then I said, that was on the brother, I said, what if I got more than one work offset and and I run out of places for my tool setter. So I move it all the way to 250. I don't have to worry about it again, never. And that's the same one I use on the brothers, on the Cincinnati, and it's gonna be in use here. And what I gotta do later, after I'm done with that, I gotta go back to G54. It don't matter if you don't go back to G54, but it is good to go back to G54. So if your macro comes in again, if your G code comes in again, it will start from work offset number 1, and it will set it to whichever one you have. But I wanted to make sure that it will go back to G54, and then I didn't do nothing of this. The only thing I did, my head is not enough to do all this. I promise you that. I did set up my conditions that I wanted. My B axis have to be home, and my C axis have to be home. Definitely, you want your C axis to be home before you do anything, because you want always the same tool height. So I did set up my output. I did set up my moving the table to that place, and put my deactivate. See, right now we got a problem. I found it. So I'm activating output 7, and I'm deactivating output 3, because this is the one I'm using on the Cincinnati. So we were gonna have a problem here. So we're gonna deactivate after we're done output 7. So we're gonna save that, run it, make sure it runs, save it again, and come out of there, which should be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna go back there, change the wire. gonna send in okay, I got that tool over there, and there's a few things I want Mark 3 to do, and I want to make sure I see them here. So the first thing is this LED have to go off, and I hope you're looking at it. My probe LED have to go off when I hit on this button right here on my tool height setter. Hopefully you see it. When I hit on that, it's gonna move the table, then my LED is gonna go off, and then the rest of the stuff is gonna happen. And the rest of the stuff is gonna be that tool, that Z-axis trying to go down at 25 inches a minute, and it's gonna slow down 1 inch. The slowest speed is 1 inch. That's a lot. That's pretty far. But what I'm gonna do is, because I don't want to run any risk, what I'm gonna do, and hopefully you see that, I'm gonna hit it. You see in Z-axis? Yeah, the table is gonna move that way anyway. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hit it. If this happens and the table moves, and the table moves, I'm gonna touch it by hand and stop the program, and then redo it, let it do, the whole process later. So I'm gonna hit here. There it goes. And Z-axis is dropping right there. I'm not gonna let it do. I'm gonna touch it, and it's trying to come down again. Z-axis is coming down, but I'm gonna stop it. Okay. So it did what we wanted. It moved the table. My LED went off, and it's waiting for my LED. So my relay worked, my working coordinate worked. It went to 250 work coordinates. Don't change that. So the whole macro is working good, and we're gonna set that tool again. So I'm gonna move again. I have done this before, guys. I have done it on my brother, and I have done it on the Cincinnati many times. I know how it works, but we can never trust how it really is. Okay, so I'm gonna hit that bottom again and just let it do the thing. If we all good, close to whatever we're trying to do, our tool height is going to be close to 7.196. And let's send it. Please don't break. That counterbalance or counterweight cylinder makes a okay, there we go. Come on. Yeah. We are off by a little bit. So right here it says 71.94. Oh, I understand. I didn't hit this button right here to 0 automatically. Yeah, I messed that up. But see that over there, it will 0. It will out of 0. It will get, it will set the value over there. So I'm around 2,000 softs. When I hand did it or whatever, or did it by hand. 7.194. And we set it on 7.196. So we're really close. We're gonna send it again. See, axis is coming down. Touching on it. Slow down to 1 inch a minute. Touch again. Okay, and then see now the value that we found over there on C height, we set it on the tool height. So our tool now is that height. Okay guys, so I'm not gonna keep extending this video. It's just half an hour, anything. Trust me, I spent 6 hours here like nothing. So we got that set up. The tool setter is working. If we hit on it, we emergency the machine so over travel works. Hope you see that I painted the lower covers. And oh, I got my. When you see this video, you've probably seen the other one. My weight cover kind of fix it out, you know. It's not perfect. I pretty much just bolted to the side, you know, here and on the other side. But I took the piece that I said I was going to and just bolted on both sides. I'm not gonna weld nothing on it and try to, you know, put some whatever here. This is, you know, it's okay over there. Worst case scenario, maybe in I don't know how many years from now, I buy another one like that one there, which it will fit good. I don't think I will do that now. She probably gonna have to cut some metal before I do anything. But yeah, that came out pretty good. It's not even. It's not even, you know. It's pretty good lineup. The same way on both sides, so it would work like that, at least for now. Got to make some chips and then we do something else. All right guys, well I hope you understood something on the tool height setter, and just getting really close. So I will say in a few days I will be putting on my other weight covers, my Y-axis, and then I promise you I am gonna put something in there before. I can say that I might just put something in there before I do anything else and just cut something. So leave me something in the comments, like what would you like me to look like, you know, like the parts. Because I sat on the computer and said, what do I do? You know, I do a pocket and, you know, an outside contour, a square, round, oval. You know, like, I don't know what to do. So, I don't know if I'm going to just cut, I don't know, one of those pieces that the people do on the internet, you know, trying to test and this and that. I can't get really greedy on it because I don't have coolant, so I'm probably gonna spray some air on it or something. Anyway, just let me know what you think I should do for the first cut on the machine, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys for watching.